Okay, this video is about something going on in Canada. It's spelled M and then an A, and the next letter is I, then a D. And what it means is medical assistance in dying. And this is becoming more and more common in Canada. Last year in Canada, this accounted for over 4% of all the deaths in the entire country. And there's been a big push to try to expand it in Canada. As a matter of fact, in the province of Quebec, this accounted for 5% of all the deaths. That's an extraordinary large amount. If you look at the cause of death in America, it's typically quoted as something in the ballpark. Let's say 26% of heart disease, like myocardial infarction and heart attack, 25% due to cancer, and then they'll talk about 5% for a whole bunch of other things. They don't really include all the complications from medical medications and stuff. If they did, that would be way up there, perhaps number 3, depending on what you read. Okay, so anyways, this is a rather extraordinary thing. I mean, this is eugenics on steroids, okay? This is a lot of people are dying because of this, and they're having the medical profession do it. It's a rather extraordinary distortion of medical ethics, and it can remind you of some things that were happening in the 1930s, certainly. Okay, so these numbers right here show 44,000. The last I heard, though, some speaker on it who seemed pretty up to date said over 50,000 people, according to this one speaker, have died from it. I don't know the exact number. This says as of when this was determined, sometime in 2022, that over 45,000 people had died from this MAID stuff. And then what I heard was that they're making a lot of efforts to try to expand it. For example, they want to expand it to minors. So these are kids that aren't even able to consent yet for stuff. They're not even 18 years old. And they want them to be able to consent to commit suicide. This is insane. I mean, look at how crazy this is. But they've also found they want to do this for mental illness. And a lot of doctors refuse to do it, fortunately. But now they're sort of saying, well, we're going to work at expanding it into mental illness. We need a little more time. They're just going to try to hire people who are willing to do it. They can do that pretty easily. Hire people from another country who hate Canadians, and they'll be willing to help out with this. They'll be willing to approve people for this. And the thing that's worrisome for this, if you look at the history of, tyranny in other countries, what they'll do is if a person doesn't agree with whatever the ruler wants, they'll just declare them mentally ill. And the way this is heading, where this looks like it's heading, is they're going to declare people mentally ill, and therefore if they're mentally ill, they're going to say they have the right to recommend they undergo this. Trust me, if you read history, this is where this is going. This is a very bad thing. People should know about this. People should be talking about this. I mean, how, bloodthirsty are they that they're trying to, get kids to do this when they're not, they're not even 18 years old yet, okay? And they want this for mental illness. People should be aware of this. This is a big deal.